News 24 journalist Azarrah Karrim says she was mocked when she laid a charge against the police. She was shot at in Yeoville while covering the first day of the national lockdown. Police were trying to disperse people loitering on the streets. Well, Karrim says police joked with her, saying, "They missed you." What a waste. She joins us now via Skype. And Ms. Karrim, thank you very much for your time. Do you want to explain to us what actually happened that day?
So on the first day of the lockdown, I was filming the police dispersing a group of people, not really a crowd, just 5 or 6 people in Yeoville. And I was chased down and shot at by police. So the next day, I went and laid a charge at the Yeoville police station. And yeah, it was a very difficult thing to do. It was, I felt like I really had to fight to lay that charge. A lot of passive-aggressive, condescending tone, but I feel like I had to, really push for them to take my statement.
Yeah. Before we get to the police station and the jokes that went on there, on the street that day, did they just shoot at you without you provoking them in any way? Because the police minister seems to suggest that police officers are being disrespected and provoked on the ground.
Yes, they did. So it wasn't only me. There was 5 or 6 people that I was filming them shooting. The police didn't ask if they had essential business. They didn't ask me if I had essential business. They just hopped off their nyala and ran after them and started shooting at them. And they did the same to me. Sorry. And yeah, it was unprovoked. I was just standing there, just recording.
And then you got to the police station. This is now you trying to lay a charge against the officers who manhandled you. You're saying that they joked around, saying they missed you, and what a waste. What was that in reference to? What were they talking about?
So it happened as the sergeant took my statement. We had already been there quite a while. Before he even took my statement, it was a long, long lecture. And then when he finally did, it was like, oh, thank goodness, we can leave now. But then his captain came and asked me to explain what happened and take him through the whole thing once again. So I did. And at some point, the officer, he stood about 5 meters away from me. Yeah. And despite me screaming that I'm media, he still shot. So I got to that part of my story, and I was telling him that part, and he said, "Oh, he missed. What a waste." And then him and the sergeant just burst out laughing. And in that moment, I don't think anybody really wants to provoke the police, especially as journalists. We know what sometimes happens at police stations, so you really don't want to agitate them. Yeah. You kind of just have to sit there and take it.
Azarrah, I just want to ask you the question about who exactly at the police station took your statement. Was it a male police officer or was it a female police officer who took your statement?
It was a male police officer.
And constantly we constantly hear that when people, particularly those who have suffered at the hands of abusers, for example, gender-based violence, they get what is called secondary abuse or victimization when they go and lay a charge at the police station. Is that how you felt on that day when you went to lay a charge?
Very much so, very much so. And that's also why I subsequently laid a complaint with SAPS via their complaint mechanism on their website. And I don't think, I did somewhat stand up for myself and I did somewhat hold my ground, but I really worry about people who can't in those situations, or people who have gone through way more traumatic experiences than I did.
Azarrah Karrim, I'm very sorry about your experience, and thank you very much for sharing your story with us here. And thanks indeed for your time. She's a journalist at News 24. Jane?
I mean, just incredibly disturbing on so many levels to listen to that story. As you mentioned, the sort of victimization that people have in police stations when they go to tell their stories. And the fact that, what do they say? We missed. What a waste.
Yeah.
Just a sort of random shooting that kind of, you go through something that traumatic, life-threatening, and then there's another layer of abuse on top of that.
Does that give you a sense now of how female victims, when they go and lay a charge, basically have to deal with when they go to these police stations? And this is not a generalization.
No.
We have to be fair on the police officers, because there are those who do their jobs and do their jobs thoroughly, and they are respectful.
Absolutely.
But there are rotten apples at the same time who do this kind of thing.